Question 1. In the context of VMware NSST data center, Jane, a security architect, needs to design a solution that isolates workloads in a multi-tenant environment while minimizing the attack surface and reducing lateral movement risk. Which feature of NSST should she primarily leverage to achieve this isolation and granular security control within the virtual network? A. NSX distributed firewall. B. Gateway firewall. C. NSX intelligence. D. NSX service-defined firewall. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The NSX distributed firewall (EDW) is designed to provide micro-segmentation at the workload level by enforcing security policies distributed across hypervisors. This approach allows Jane to isolate workloads individually and minimize lateral movement risks in a multi-tenant environment as the firewall operates inside the hypervisor kernel. The DDID enables granular east-to-west traffic directly at the virtual network interface of each workload, which is essential for isolating workloads and enforcing security policies effectively. Question 2. When considering endpoint security within AEMA Carbon Black Cloud deployment, Michael notices that traditional antivirus solutions are failing to detect certain sophisticated threats. What fundamental capability differentiates next-generation antivirus NGEV in Carbon Black endpoint from traditional antivirus? It's signature-based malware detection only. B. Behavioral analysis and continuous endpoint monitoring. C. Basic firewall management. D. Static rule-based detection without real-time updates. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Next-generation antivirus NGEV in Carbon Black endpoint goes beyond traditional signature-based detection by continuously monitoring endpoint activity and using behavioral analytics to identify suspicious or malicious behaviors in real time. This capability allows NGEV to detect advanced threats such as fileless attacks and zero-day exploits, which traditional antivirus solutions relying mainly on signatures cannot effectively detect. Question 3. According to recent studies, the zero-trust security model is gaining prominence in modern VMware security architectures. From a conceptual standpoint, what is the core principle that fundamentally distinguishes zero-trust from traditional perimeter-based security? A. Trust all users inside the corporate network by default. B. Implicitly trust users and devices based on location. C. Never trust, always verify regardless of network location. D. Rely exclusively on firewall rules at network boundaries. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Zero-trust security is based on the principle of never trust, always verify, meaning that no user or device is trusted by default, regardless of whether they are inside or outside the corporate network perimeter. This principle shifts the security focus to continuous verification, strict access controls, and minimizing implicit trust, which contrasts sharply with traditional models that assume internal users trusted by default. Question 4. Through the lens of VMware Workspace ONE Unified Endpoint Management (UEM), Sarah wants to ensure only compliant devices access corporate resources. What primary function do compliance policies serve within Workspace ONE UEM? A. They provide antivirus scanning on mobile devices. B. They define security requirements devices must meet to gain access. C. They create firewall rules for endpoint devices. D. They enable firmware updates automatically. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Compliance policies within Workspace ONE UEM define the security and configuration requirements that endpoint devices must meet to be considered compliant and thus authorized to access corporate resources. These policies may include settings such as device encryption, passcode enforcement, OS version checks, and jailbreak root detection, ensuring that only secure and compliant devices are permitted access. Question 5. Based on the information from a security analyst's investigation in VMware Carbon Black Cloud, Kevin needs to remotely collect forensic data from an endpoint suspected of compromise. Which Carbon Black feature best supports this live investigative response? A. Carbon Black Endpoint Standard Dashboard. B. Carbon Black Live Response. C. Sensor Policy Configuration. D. NSX Intelligence Alerting. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Carbon Black Live Response enables security analysts like Kevin to perform real-time investigations and remediation on endpoints by remotely accessing the device to collect forensic data, run commands, and analyze suspicious activity. This live response capability is critical for incident response and containment activities in Carbon Black Cloud. Question 6. With respect to VMware NSX intelligence, Rachel is tasked with improving network visibility and identifying potential threats in a dynamic software-defined data center. What is the primary value NSX intelligence provides in such an environment? A. Automates endpoint antivirus updates. B. Manages user access policies to applications. C. Visualizes network traffic flows and detects anomalies. D. Enforces physical firewall rules at the perimeter. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. NSX Intelligence is a security analytics tool that provides real-time visualization of network traffic flows, helping administrators understand east-west communication within the software-defined data center. By detecting traffic anomalies and security threats, NSX Intelligence allows proactive risk mitigation and improved network security posture. Question 7. Given the circumstances where a new ransomware variant exploits unpatched software vulnerabilities, what is the most effective mitigation strategy VMware security teams should implement to reduce risk across virtualized workloads? A. Deploy next-generation antivirus combined with continuous patch management. B. Increase firewall rules complexity without endpoint protection. C. Rely solely on network perimeter security appliances. D. Disable all remote access protocols permanently. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Combining next-generation antivirus capabilities with continuous patch management addresses both malware detection and vulnerability mitigation. NGAV can detect behavioral anomalies indicative of ransomware, while patch management eliminates exploitable software weaknesses, providing layered defense critical for protecting virtualized workloads. Question 8. Throughout the course of deploying VMware Workspace ONE, the security team needs to automate security response actions upon detecting a compromised device. Which feature in Workspace ONE intelligence facilitates this automation? A. Compliance policy enforcement. B. Access policy creation. C. Workflow automation with connectors to tools like Slack or ServiceNow. D. Device encryption settings. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Workspace ONE intelligence includes workflow automation capabilities that integrate with third-party tools like Slack and ServiceNow. This allows automated incident responses such as notifications, ticket creation, or device quarantine when a compromised device is detected, accelerating security operations and reducing manual workload. Question 9. In light of recent developments regarding network security architecture, which high-level purpose of the firewall best aligns with VMware NSX Edge Gateway Firewall deployment? A. To automate patching of virtual machines. B. To secure north-south traffic between virtual networks and external environments. C. To manage endpoint antivirus definitions centrally. D. To provide distributed workload-level security within hypervisors. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The NSX Edge Gateway Firewall is designed to control north-south traffic between the virtualized network inside the data center and external networks, such as the Internet. It provides perimeter security functions, including now VPN and firewalling at the gateway level, distinct from the distributed firewall that protects east-west traffic within the hypervisor. Question 10. Considering the evidence from recent cyberattack case studies, what is a primary advantage of integrating sensor policies within VMware Carbon Black Endpoint? A. They allow granular tuning of endpoint security to reduce false positives and optimize detection. B. They serve as network access control lists for firewall configurations. C. They control user login times and device usage schedules. D. They automate software patching on endpoints. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Sensor policies in VMware Carbon Black Endpoint configure how the security sensor behaves on endpoints, enabling administrators to fine-tune detection sensitivity, event logging, and response actions. This granular control helps reduce false positives and improves overall detection accuracy, optimizing endpoint security operations. Question 11. Upon closer examination, David is implementing a EMA Carbon Black cloud solution and wants to proactively detect lateral movement within the network, which VMware Carbon Black feature specifically enables visibility into endpoint process relationships and suspicious activity correlations. A sensor policy configuration. B. Behavioral edit endpoint detection and response. C. Live response commands. D. Compliance policies. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Behavioral endpoint detection and response EDA in Carbon Black continuously monitors endpoint process relationships and behavioral indicators, enabling proactive detection of lateral movement and other stealthy attacks. This dynamic behavioral analysis goes beyond static signature detection, providing critical insight into attack chains and helping security teams respond effectively. Question 12. In terms of Workspace ONE access, Lisa is tasked with restricting user access to cloud applications based on device posture and user role. Which feature is fundamental for implementing such fine-grained access control? A. Compliance policies. B. Carbon Black Live response. C. Sensor policies. D. Access policies. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Access policies within Workspace ONE access are designed to enforce conditional access controls based on user identity, device compliance, location, and other contextual attributes. This enables Lisa to restrict or grant access to cloud applications dynamically, ensuring only authorized and secure devices and users gain entry. Question 13. Given the circumstances that a EMA NSST administrator wants to enforce security rules with minimal performance impact on virtual machines, which architectural aspect of the NSX distributed firewall is most critical to achieve this? A. Kernel-level enforcement on each hypervisor host. B. Centralized firewall appliances in the data center. C. External hardware firewall integration. D. Agent-based endpoint firewall software. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The NSX distributed firewall enforces security rules at the kernel level within each hypervisor, allowing high-performance filtering directly where the VM traffic originates or terminates. This architectural design reduces network bottlenecks and latency, enabling granular security enforcement with minimal performance overhead. Question 14. From the perspective of VMware Carbon Black sensor deployment, what is the primary rationale for customizing sensor policies on different endpoint groups? A. To reduce network bandwidth consumption uniformly. B. To disable security features on critical servers. C. To balance detection sensitivity and resource usage according to device roles. D. To ensure all endpoints run identical configurations. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Customizing sensor policies enables administrators to tailor detection sensitivity and logging detail based on device criticality, performance constraints, and operational roles. This balance helps optimize security monitoring effectiveness while minimizing performance impacts and false positives on sensitive or resource-constrained endpoints. Question 15. Considering the evidence of evolving cybersecurity threats, which mitigation strategy best aligns with VMware security best practices to protect virtualized workloads from known and unknown malware? A. Deploy a combination of next-generation antivirus and microsegmentation. B. Rely on perimeter firewalls exclusively. C. Disable endpoint monitoring to improve performance. D. Use only signature-based antivirus scanning. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Combining next-generation antivirus capabilities with micro-segmentation creates layered defense for virtualized workloads. NGAV detects both known and unknown threats via behavioral analytics, while micro-segmentation restricts lateral movement inside the network, limiting attack spread and enhancing security posture. Question 16. Within the framework of VMware NSST, what is the primary purpose of the gateway firewall compared to the distributed firewall? They enforce host-based workload policies inside hypervisors. B. Manage endpoint compliance on devices. C. Automate incident response workflows. D. Control north-south traffic entering and leaving the data center. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. The gateway firewall in NSST secures north-south traffic crossing between the data center network and external networks. It enforces perimeter security policies at the network edge, complementing the distributed firewall that secures east-west traffic inside the hypervisors. Question 17. During the process of analyzing alerts in VMware Carbon Black Cloud, a security analyst wants to reduce alert fatigue by tuning detection thresholds without compromising security. Which approach best supports this goal? A. Disable sensor policies temporarily. B. Adjust sensor policies for granular control over event logging and detection. C. Ignore low priority alerts entirely. D. Remove Carbon Black Live response capabilities. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Adjusting sensor policies provides granular control over what types of events and behaviors are logged and alerted upon. This tuning reduces false positives and alert noise, enabling the analyst to focus on relevant threats without compromising overall detection capability. Question 18. Several experts suggest that microsegmentation is critical in VMware NSST for improving security posture. What is the conceptual benefit of microsegmentation beyond traditional VLAN segmentation? A. It groups devices by physical location only. B. It isolates workloads based solely on IP addresses. C. It provides granular application-aware security at the workload interface regardless of network topology. D. It replaces firewall appliances entirely. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Microsegmentation provides workload-level isolation with security policies tied directly to application and process contexts, independent of physical or network topology. This allows fine-grained control over east-west traffic and limits attack spread beyond traditional VLAN or subnet boundaries. Question 19. Throughout the course of securing VMware Workspace ONE devices, what happens when a device is marked as compromised by compliance policies? A. The device is immediately wiped without warning. B. The user's access to corporate resources is restricted or blocked. C. The device's antivirus definitions are automatically updated. D. The device is excluded from endpoint management. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. When a device is marked as compromised, compliance policies typically restrict or block its access to corporate resources to prevent data breaches and lateral attacks. This ensures that only trusted and compliant devices can connect to sensitive environments. Question 20. How might one explain the role of VMware NSX service-defined firewall in modern cloud-native environments? A. It is a legacy firewall used only for physical data centers. B. It dynamically adapts firewall rules based on service discovery and application context. C. It solely manages user identities and authentication. D. It is designed only for perimeter network protection. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The VMware NSX service-defined firewall is designed to integrate with cloud-native environments, dynamically applying firewall rules based on real-time service discovery and application context. This allows security policies to adapt as services scale or move, providing micro-segmentation tailored for modern workloads. Question 21. To illustrate, Mark, a VMware security engineer, wants to identify anomalous east-west traffic patterns within NSST to prevent potential insider threats. With VMware NSST feature should he leverage for real-time network traffic visualization and anomaly detection? A. Gateway firewall. B. NSX distributed firewall. C. NSX intelligence. D. Carbon Black Live response. Answer. Question 22. Under the assumption that an organization's endpoint devices must be continuously monitored for malware and suspicious activity, which feature in VMware Carbon Black Cloud ensures comprehensive real-time endpoint visibility? A. Carbon Black Endpoint Standard. B. Workspace ONE Access. C. NSX Edge Gateway Firewall. D. Sensor Policies. Answer. Correct answer: A. Explanation. Carbon Black Endpoint Standard continuously monitors endpoint activity, collecting data on processes, file modifications, and network connections in real time. This continuous visibility is essential for detecting and preventing malware and other threats. Question 23. In the absence of traditional perimeter defenses, a VMware NSST administrator relies on a firewall that protects every virtual machine regardless of location. Which firewall fulfills this role? A. Gateway firewall. B. NSX intelligence. C. Service-defined firewall. D. Distributed firewall. Answer. Correct answer: D. Explanation. The NSX distributed firewall applies micro-segmentation by enforcing security policies directly at the hypervisor level on every virtual machine's network interface, providing protection independent of network location or topology. Question 24. From a historical standpoint, why is micro-segmentation considered superior to traditional VLAN segmentation in VMware environments? A. Because VLANs require physical switches. B. Because micro-segmentation enables granular workload-based policy enforcement. C. Because VLANs cannot be managed via software. D. Because micro-segmentation uses static IP addresses only. Answer. Correct answer: B. Explanation. Micro-segmentation offers granular security by applying policies at the workload or VM level, controlling traffic based on application context and user roles rather than just network segmentation, providing enhanced protection compared to VLAN-based isolation. Question 25. Given the circumstances that an endpoint is suspected of compromise, which VMware Carbon Black Cloud capability allows for remote investigation and immediate remediation? A. Live response. B. Sensor policy tuning. C. Compliance policy enforcement. D. Workspace ONE intelligence. Answer. Correct answer: A. Explanation. Live response allows security analysts to remotely connect to compromised endpoints, collect forensic evidence, execute commands, and remediate threats quickly, facilitating rapid incident response. Question 26. While examining Workspace ONE compliance policies, what is the expected outcome when a device fails to meet a mandatory security requirement? A. The device is automatically updated. B. The device continues to access all resources without restriction. C. The device is enrolled in Carbon Black Endpoint Standard. D. The device access to corporate resources is restricted or blocked. Answer. Correct answer: D. Explanation. When a device is non-compliant with enforced policies, Workspace ONE typically restricts or blocks its access to corporate resources to reduce the risk of data breaches or malware spread. Question 27. In what ways can sensor policies in VMware Carbon Black Cloud be used to enhance security monitoring effectiveness? A. By disabling endpoint sensors during peak hours. B. By enforcing device encryption. C. By configuring logging detail and detection sensitivity for different endpoint groups. D. By restricting user access to applications. Answer. Correct answer: C. Explanation. Sensor policies allow administrators to tailor security monitoring by adjusting event logging levels and detection thresholds per endpoint group, balancing detection precision with resource usage and minimizing false positives. Question 20. Among the various techniques for defending virtual workloads, which approach is most effective at preventing lateral movement after an initial breach? A. Gateway firewall. B. Micro-segmentation. C. Traditional antivirus. D. Endpoint patch management. Answer. Correct answer: B. Explanation. Micro-segmentation restricts lateral traffic between workloads by enforcing granular policies at the VM level, limiting an attacker's ability to move within the network after initial compromise. Question 29. Taking into account the VMware NSST architecture, which component acts as the central control plane managing logical switching, routing, and security policies? A. NSX Manager. E. NSX Edge. C. Distributed Firewall. D. Carbon Black Console. Answer. Correct answer: A. Explanation. The NSX Manager is the centralized control plane in NSST that manages network virtualization, logical switching and routing, and enforcement of security policies across the infrastructure. Question 30. With respect to VMware Workspace ONE Intelligence, how does the platform contribute to improving security operations? A. By performing hardware-level endpoint scanning. B. By creating firewall rules for NSXT. C. By providing real-time threat intelligence updates. D. By automating security workflows and integrations with external tools. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Workspace ONE Intelligence automates security operations by integrating with external tools, e.g. Slack, ServiceNow, orchestrating workflows and triggering security actions automatically based on device and user risk telemetry, accelerating incident response.